Like I said, I also recommend trying to use generative AI to do some of these things, particularly if you can't find what you want in an example. This actually is great advice for both the Arduino side of things and the Python side of things. If you decide to try to read data from the Arduino back to your computer. So that can be a really good thing to do. So, like, for example, I'll do the exact same example that we just did. So, like, if, by the way, a hot tip, the University of Delaware has an agreement with Microsoft because we subscribe to Microsoft 365 that if you log in with your UD credentials, you'll have access to a protected version of Microsoft Copilot, which is ChatGPT 4. And it comes with all of that great stuff, but also does not collect personal information or, information, does not use information from your, chat, like store it, for example. So that can be quite useful, I think. So anyway, but you are welcome to use other things like ChatGPT if you want. So, for example, if I write a prompt that says, write a program for Arduino Uno R3 that measures analog pin A3 and prints it to the serial monitor, you can submit that, and in about, 5 seconds, it will generate a pretty darn good set of code. So note how it has the void setup, so it's got the setup structure at the beginning, opens a serial port, creates a loop down here, loops through, pulls out the sensor value, conveniently actually choosing to use the same variable names as the built-in example. That's probably where it plagiarized it from. And it actually, in this version, which is kind of nice, it actually converts the signal from an integer, so like this was actually the bit count from the A to D converter, back to a voltage. So that's pretty cool. It'll actually convert the the values back to like a sensible voltage that you could use. So and then let's see, so it prints it to the serial monitor just like you asked, and then creates another creates another line. Let's see, and then adds like a 1 second delay, and then keeps going around in the loop. So you can ask it some really powerful things here. I'm not going to stick around and do this much longer, but you might ask the question, how can I store data from an Arduino to my computer as a, let's say, a spreadsheet file? And if you like Python, you could ask it to do it in Python. And bam, it'll give you some advice about how to set it up, how to write your Arduino code. And then it'll it'll give you some advice about how you can set up your Python code to do that. And it does a pretty good job. I have actually tried this. So anyway, you can, I highly recommend that you use this method if you're trying to do something difficult like that. You can learn a lot, and if you don't understand what it's doing, you can ask it to explain itself, or why it called a variable a certain name, or something like that. So it's a pretty good method.